And welcome back to Retirement Coffee Talk with Sharice Rivers at Zinnia Wealth. Online, it's zinniawealth.com, Zinnia wealth.com. All right, so the Yahoo Finance people put together a podcast, and they discussed what they believe is one of the biggest retirement mistakes to avoid. And at the top of the list was people underspending in the early part of retirement. It says that people buy into this whole 4% withdrawal rule. They also buy into the running out of money fears, and they limit their lifestyles unnecessarily. And there was a great quote at the end. It said, if you die with millions of dollars in your account, your plan failed. Interesting. Now, an estate planner might not say that, but a retirement planner would, because we want you to enjoy your money. Sharice, you've talked about this in the past, is sometimes you really got to get under people's skin to say, get out there and enjoy your money. You worked your whole life for it. Go use it. But there's a lot of fear when there's not new money coming in and all the money's going out.
So I truly believe that you have failed if you die with millions of dollars in your accounts, because that means you probably did not spend enough during retirement because you were scared to spend because you didn't want to run out of money. So this 4% rule was created in the 1990s when the stock market just grew. And then 2000 hit and we had that big crash and 33 months of a decline. That was the tech bubble. And then it took 5 years to get back to even. And then 2007 to 2009, subprime mortgage crash took place. So a lot of people nearly did run out of money, believe it or not, because they were still living on their income and taking dollars out when the market was going down, when they shouldn't have touched it. And when the market was trying to crawl back up and get out of this hole, they were still taking their 4%, but they weren't taking 4, they were taking 8 because they needed 40 grand. If you had $1 million and went to 500, you have to take double the percentage out. So this is like the number one fear, running out of money because of this 4% rule, but it's all timing. It's all speculative too. And it's all based on what your advisor is advising you. If your advisor's not talking to you about, hey, when the market goes down, we're shifting gears and we're going to do something else, there's a problem, because we want people to spend money in retirement. And every single human being that comes into our office, they spend less than they actually could. And we are reteaching the brain and our clients that it is okay to spend your money. It is okay to spend some of your principal. If you have $1 million and we've made 50% over the next couple of years, and you spend all that money that you've earned, and then you start to spend into your principal, it's okay. It's okay. That's why you have this principal. This is why you have your $1 million, right? People feel like, I have to always maintain principal so I can leave it for my beneficiaries. Sure. If that's something that you want to do and you want to leave it to your beneficiaries, I understand that. But you have worked 30 to 40 years your entire life. Why the heck are you not enjoying it the way you're supposed to be enjoying it? Because your kids will enjoy it. So I try to engage and get people excited about spending their money. I just had somebody come into my office recently, and it's a doctor, and they have a really hard time spending. And the spouse said, I really want to spend more. And then the other spouse is like, well, we are, but they're not doing it in a strategy. So I put them to work and said, okay, listen, move $5,000 a month from this money market account to your bank account. And in 6 months, come back in. And if we see that you haven't spent it, then you guys are going to have to report to me, because you're not doing what we put together and what you promised me in return you're going to do, and start spending money, because their heirs are going to have so much money. It's ridiculous. Yet they're still so fearful to spend. And I know they want to. So I'm coaching. I'm coaching clients to spend money and then making them accountable, coming back in 6 months. And we also have a 12-month coming back in, because I said, if you have not spent your money in 12 months, this is literally the conversation after them being a client for 3 years. We're going to find a place to park that money. And it's either going to be a car or it's going to be a charity, but you're going to spend it. We do not need to reinvest it. And they just looked at me and they loved it. They're like, okay, I like this plan. This is kind of different. So don't be afraid to spend your money. The goal here is don't follow all the rules that are out there. We've debunked a lot of them. It's making sure you have a well-oiled strategy and an income plan, and you have a strategic, diversified portfolio, not just a 60-40 portfolio. So that is key.
I heard somebody the other day say, do you want your kids riding up to your funeral in Porsches and Maseratis? No, spend your money. I mean, right now, if you were to look at yourself in the mirror and say, are you afraid of running out of money? We all need more money. I understand that. But are you afraid you're going to run out of money? And the answer to that is probably no. And the reason is because in 2 weeks, you're going to get another check. That check comes in every 2 weeks from your employer. Now, what does that mean in retirement? Your retirement is your new job, and that means there should be checks coming in every 2 weeks or every 4 weeks there as well. There's no reason why that shouldn't continue. It has to, and it can't just be Social Security. Cherise, to me, these people that are pulling money off the top, 4% withdrawal, afraid of running out of money, they don't have a solid income plan. They don't know where their money's coming from, that there's new fresh money coming in, and that's the source of the fear. That's what I believe anyway.
Yeah, it is a source of the fear, not knowing where that next paycheck is coming from because they're skimming off the top of their portfolio. You have this bucket of money and you just think it's okay, I'm going to skim it. And you know what, I'm not going to do it this month or next month. I'm going to do it, in month 4 of the year, right? And so we're going to take 20 grand. And then 2 months later, like, you know what, I'm going to take another 20 grand. And it's like, hello, is there a plan? Do you actually understand what you're doing? That was just 40 grand. Right. Did you save 500 grand? Did you save $1 million? Did you save 2 million? Because that is not okay if you plan to do that year over year over year. But I do want to implore people during your go-go years, the first 10 years when you're retired, I want you to spend that money. I just want you to have a plan. I want you to talk to somebody who actually understands how to build it so that you can be reassured that in 30 years or 20 years, you don't run out of money and leave your surviving spouse financially destitute.
Well, spending in retirement is kind of like a smile. It should be anyway. At the beginning, you spend a whole bunch. When you're healthy and you want to travel and all those dreams that you had all these years, you spend and you do that. And then you've done all that stuff. You've done 5-6 cruises. You've been to Europe. You've done those things. And then things slow down a little bit and that kind of goes down a little bit. And then when there's healthcare concerns near your later years, that's when the spending goes back up again. But we want to make sure that you don't miss the first part of the smile.
Yes.
We want to make sure that there is spending in the early part of your retirement when you can enjoy it. And I mean, that's another reason I think, Cherise, you and I have talked about this a lot, is come on in. If you're 63, 64, and you think you're going to retire at 65 or 66 or 67, who knows?
Yeah.
You may be able to retire early and start enjoying your retirement now.
Yeah.
Let's do the math, as you say.
Do you remember during COVID, that was like our big conversation. Can you retire now? Because everybody wanted to retire. They wanted to leave their jobs.
Yep.
And we retired so many people from this universe that it was so exciting. And from that day forward, we committed to let's retire as many people as we can, as fast as we can, because we don't know when we're going to take our last breath. There's never a guarantee for tomorrow. And let's get people retired and let's make sure we draw up these income plans for success. And so for me, that's my guiding light for retirees and people prepping.
Well, give us a call. Let's sit down and find out what your retirement paycheck looks like. What if you were one of those people who could walk out of the office and say, I'm going to make more now, not working, than when I did work? What a great, great day that is. Give us a call. Give us a look on our website. Let's have that meeting. Let's do that math. Let's start today. Here's our website, which is zinniawealth.com, ZINNIA wealth.com. There's a gold box there. It says complimentary retirement consultation. When you click on that, we'll ask you for a little information, and our team will give you a call and say, okay, what are you concerned about? How can we help? Maybe this leads to us sitting down in the office, putting the papers out on the table and going to it. You could also give us a call and just start that way, 833-368-3680. Again, 833-368-3680.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Coffee Talk podcast. If you have questions or would like to begin the process of building a tailored retirement plan, call Zinnia Wealth at 833-368-3680 or find us online at zinniawealth.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Zinnia Wealth Advisory, LLC, a registered investment advisor. The firm only conducts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded from registration requirements. Registration is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. Insurance products are offered through Zinnia Wealth Management, LLC, Florida license L078655, and Cherise Rivers, Florida license P037744. Zinnia Wealth Advisory, LLC, and Zinnia Wealth Management, LLC are affiliated entities. The information presented is believed to be current. It should not be viewed as personalized investment advice. All expressions of opinion reflect the judgment of the presenter on the date of the podcast and are subject to change. The information presented is not an offer to buy or sell or a solicitation of any offer to buy or sell any of the securities discussed. You should consult with a professional advisor before implementing any of the strategies discussed. Any legal or tax information provided in this podcast is general in nature. Always consult an attorney or tax professional regarding your specific legal or tax situation. Any client experience discussed on this show are unique to that client. Annuity and life insurance guarantees are subject to the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. If you withdraw money from or surrender your contract within a certain time after investing, the insurance company may assess a surrender charge. Withdrawals may be subject to tax penalties and income taxes. Persons selling annuities or other insurance products receive compensation for these transactions. These commissions are separate and distinct from fees charged for advisory services. Insurance products also contain additional fees and expenses. Social Security rules and regulations are subject to change at any time. Always consult with your local Social Security office before acting upon any information provided herein. References to specific investments should not be construed as being past specific recommendations. The returns for various indices discussed in this podcast do not represent the performance of the firm or any of its advisory clients. Returns do not reflect the impact that advisory fees will have on an investment. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. All investment strategies have potential for profit or loss. Different types of investments involve higher and lower levels of risk. There is no guarantee that a specific investment strategy will be suitable or profitable for an investor's portfolio. Historical performance returns for investment indexes and or categories usually do not deduct transaction and or custodial charges or advisory fees, which would decrease historical performance results. There are no guarantees that a portfolio will match or outperform a specific benchmark. Investments in fixed income products are subject to liquidity risk, market risk, index rate risk, credit risk, inflation risk, purchasing power risk, and taxation risk. Because bond prices fluctuate continually, their yields change constantly.